Instead of just like every day scrambling, I feel like you spend so much more time if you're doing it every single day trying to capture video than if you just spent like 2 hours recording everything all at once. And I just go into that marketing calendar and be like, okay, this is the one I need to record for Monday. Okay, let's go ahead and record it. And then I just click it as recorded and it's already saved in my Instagram. Welcome to the Bold Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Jen Kinnell, and this is a space where bold moves meet inspired action. Join us as we dive into stories, strategies, and mindset of those who are building their dreams, creating impactful communities, and redefining success on their terms. Whether you're looking for practical business tips, a boost of inspiration, or a community that gets your vision, you are in the right place. Get ready to elevate your journey and embrace what it means to be a bold founder. Let's dive in. Hey friends, and welcome back to the Bold Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Jen Kinnell, and today we're going to be diving into a topic that I think every entrepreneur really needs to hear. And honestly, it's just how to simplify your marketing without losing your momentum, because sometimes we spend so much time on our marketing and we are showing up and it can feel overwhelming or like it's a full-time job. And we already are entrepreneurs with our full-time job. So between filming, editing, batching, scheduling, and all like those things happening in the background while we're running our actual business, it can feel like a lot. And if you've ever thought, I just don't know how I'm going to keep up with it all, or maybe I need to hire someone. I get it. I've been there too. I've even thought as a social media manager, maybe I need to hire someone because I can't even keep up with it. So for the longest time, I really felt like I was putting all my effort into my clients and helping them do amazing online. But I just neglected my own content because honestly, like every entrepreneur, when you're running your business, your social media does tend to come last, even though it should be such a priority because it is your marketing. It's how you connect with your audience. It's just such a huge thing, but it's also very easy to be like, I'll do this later. I don't feel inspired, and to just move on because we just don't have time for it. And that kind of sucks for us because we want to make sure that we are showing up online because honestly, online social media and marketing is so powerful. So I decided to kind of shift up my own business and really use myself as a case study. I know I've talked about this previously, but I just wanted to see, let's take what I'm doing for my clients, but implement it for myself and really commit to it. And that's honestly when everything kind of changed. I changed how I worked, how I built my own systems. Yeah, I do it all for my clients, but I never did it for me. And I wasn't creating the same content creation schedule for myself as I would for my clients. And so I just kind of said, okay, that's it. I'm committing to it. We're going to do this. And I really wanted it to be simple, intentional, bring back the fun, but also completely remove that overwhelm and stress that sometimes can come along with social media. So we're going to start off talking about consistency because I do think that is probably the biggest key ever. I personally post daily. I feel like as a social media manager and as somebody who's using myself as a case study, I think you should be doing that. For me personally, I want to make sure that yes, I do this, but I feel like for everybody who's listening to this, I really think you should be paying attention to what you can do personally. If you're like, oh, well, everyone says to do to post every single day. Okay, I'm going to do that. And then you fall off and you get burnt out or you don't have time to keep up with it, then don't do it. I don't ever want you to be like, this is what they say to do, so I'm going to do it. No, the more important goal is to actually just be consistent and show up on a regular basis. Even with me posting daily, and I do sometimes even more than this because I actually do take advantage of Instagram trial reels. So sometimes I'll post my own feed and then I'll also post on top of that the trial reels on top of that. So that's kind of two, but I'll get into this later in a future episode. You can play around with trial reels so easily, but I do sometimes even post more than that. But here's what I've really learned. It's not about how often you're posting. It's about how consistent you are being with how you're posting and ensuring that you can realistically keep up with what you're committing to. So the moment I stopped trying to do it all and started to just learn and implement my own systems for myself, everything got so much easier and I could start to get into a daily posting rhythm. I plan everything in advance and then I post it every day, sometimes multiple times a day, depending if I'm taking advantage of trial reels or maybe it is a podcast day. So I just wanted to find something that really worked for me. And I knew myself, again, as that case study, I knew I wanted to post once a day. I don't like the people that say you have to post 3 times a day because, yeah, that's a strategy on its own, but like it's just not realistic. It's not fun. It's overwhelming. Like it's just not for me. So for me, once a day. But for you, do what you feel like you can achieve that's not going to be overwhelming and exhausting. And also keeps it fun because once you take the fun out of it and it becomes a job and it's not like you're not using any of your creativity anymore, you're just like, oh, I have to post. That's going to derail you. So I just want you to really like this be a main talking point of this podcast episode is do what is consistent for you because I don't want it to take you out. I want you to really enjoy this process. And then when you're actually consistent, you're starting to build more trust. You're building that authority. People are starting to come to you knowing that you're going to show up like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever it happens to be. And you're going to have great information for them. And they're gonna be like, oh, look at your outfits. I love watching outfit influencer ones. I'm like, oh, what is she wearing today? They probably batched all this in advance and they're not wearing it that exact day. But I love to be able to show up to certain people and be like, what are they doing? Or I love actually Frock Boxes, reels and stuff like that. Like, what are their style ones? They have really taken into like showcasing style and outfits, and I think it's incredible. So, but I can come back to them on a consistent basis and see what's in store, right? I can see what's launching, how they're styling it. I think that is just such a beautiful thing, and they're consistent with it. So I always know I can pop in there and be like, what's new? Another thing that I've been talking about a little bit that is really a game changer is that bold marketing calendar. It's something that I created that I use for my clients. But when I started to implement it for myself, it made a really, really big shift. So what I do with this calendar, it's a Trello built calendar. And I start by putting in all my like launches, events, anything big happening, any holidays. I put those all in the calendar. So that way I'm like, okay, this is where like we've got a big launch coming up. Obviously, we're going to need to ramp up our discussion on that topic to start like getting people prepared to buy into whatever is launching. Or the week after, maybe that's like open cart. We need to have that in there. Or I want to talk about content pillars and I get all this in on my posting schedule. So what I do is like I basically put in all those main things. And then if I don't have anything launching, then I'll really focus in on those content pillars. Like, okay, this month we don't really have anything coming, but we are sneak peeking kind of what's coming up in the future that I'm building, which is going to be my new program. More of that to come. But I'm making sure that I'm showing up regularly, consistently, really helping you guys understand how to use social media and then using this content pillar. So every day I show up. Monday, I show up with authority. Thursday, I always have hacks. Wednesday's always my podcasting. Friday's kind of when I get into a little bit of like who I am, what's going on this weekend. Maybe it is actually lately I've been showing like wine reels. Like I just really have fun with it on Fridays. Tuesday is really about like storytelling and showing how me implementing this strategy has made such a huge difference, right? So I have days that I post certain things that makes it so much easier, one, for me to know what I'm talking about those days, but also for me to like show up every day, right? Like if I know what it is and how I use this bold marketing calendar, it just changes everything. And the beautiful thing about using it is you're able to implement your strategy with your goals, with your themes that you got. So like the authority content, the social media hacks, the storytelling behind the scenes, we get to sprinkle in all of these things throughout the whole week and it keeps us structured. And I love when you actually map it out visually. It's just easier to post it. Like if you're looking at a calendar and you're like, okay, this day I'm posting this, and you've got your captions already written in there, and you've got, sometimes I even put the reel or the video content in there, or I'll put my inspiration reels in there. It just makes it so much easier to like stay on top of it. And that simple shift has really switched me from like, oh, I have to post today. What do I want to post about? I don't know. I'll get to it later. Right. And now I'm posting with intention. I'm posting with planning. I go through my reels when I'm looking at what's trending that week. I'm like, oh, this one's awesome. I should do this one. And then I'll go and save it in the bold marketing calendar. And then when I sit down and do my like actual planning for the whole month, that's when I'll be like, okay, these are the days that I don't have something planned yet. What can I put in there? If we stick with those content pillars, what does that mean? So Monday we need this, Tuesday we need this, like, and then it helps me just map it out. And then once I've mapped that out, then I know what I'm creating for content. Do I have that B-roll already? Do I need to create that? I kind of have a lot of fun with my B-roll. Like I do like B-roll days where or like video content days where I just like take everything I've mapped out and then like record everything. I mean, some of it doesn't get to fully get recorded because sometimes it needs me to be in my car or whatever, but I just love this sort of a system because it's basically 2 days, one day of planning, one day of recording, And then really, I guess you could have a third day if you want to like put all your hooks and your captions in already in Instagram. And then it's like all you have to do is show up on the day you post and post it, right? Or you could even use the scheduling app for that. This has been such a huge, massive game changer for me because it just like allows me to breathe. But then also like I feel so good that I'm like on top of my content and I'm liking my content. And now I can look at the analytics like because I'm being consistent. I can see the growth. I can see the numbers, the number of views I'm having. Like I don't know, maybe this is the social media person in me, but I just like love it. So I did touch on how I create my content in like 2 days. Like it honestly makes everything so much faster. So again, the bold marketing calendar, I just plop everything in there. I figure out exactly what I want, map out the launches, map out the topics, any key messages. I put all of that in there, like because I post every single day, like I said. So every single day I've got something in there. And with this calendar, I actually color coordinate everything too. So then I'm like, okay, this one's been ready. This one's been recorded. This one's been edited. And I'm like, good to go. I know I'm very type A, but like I'm able to take all that planning, do the planning in one day. And I love doing that because it's the same thing with this podcast. I like to map out what every single podcast is. And then that way, when I come in, I'm like, okay, I already know what I'm talking about today. I've already kind of got my script going. Let's just come in and record. So there is no thought in terms of like my content planning day is my content thinking day. And then my like creative B-roll podcast recording, all those things is like you just implement, you just go and do. Right. So I do like to plan out my hooks and my captions in advance. I like that to be in the content day because it does help me think, okay, this is the video that I want to do. How do I want to use this video so that I can implement it towards my business? So yeah, sometimes I will take video from like other creators and be like, oh, I loved how they did this. How can I do this for myself in my business? Right. And so then I'll take that video inspiration and then we'll look at how we can implement and create our own hooks and our own captions so that it's in our words and our it's for our target audience that we're creating something that they're like, ooh, I want to know more about that. And then I do spend a day where I just like batch it all. Like, right, I just sit, I do B-roll, I do lip singing. I kind of really love the lip singing ones. I do outfit changes. I have fun with wine reels, or in the summer I set up a whole like patio with like flowers and just made it fun, right? So I'm instead of just like every day scrambling, I feel like you spend so much more time if you're doing it every single day trying to capture video than if you just spent like 2 hours recording everything all at once. And I just go into that marketing calendar and be like, okay, this is the one I need to record for Monday. Okay, let's go ahead and record it. And then I just click it as recorded and it's already saved in my Instagram. So I already know it's recorded. Then I can move on to the next one, record that, save it, move on to the next one, right? So you're just consistently batching. And it helps when I bring up all my clothes, I bring up any props that I want to use. My house turns into a total disaster just because like you're changing quite a bit and there's props and everything everywhere. But it's so much easier. You just get it all done in one day. And then it just feels like every single day when you go and you pop onto Instagram. And again, I said you could go through later and like, or another scheduling app and schedule it all out. I've been doing everything in Instagram. I think this is just something I'm trying out to see how it goes. I used to do later and I still have the later app. And I love later because it actually will auto schedule to other platforms. So I'm not actually auto scheduling to other platforms right now. I'm really mostly focusing on Instagram, but I'm trying to see if I post it and edit it and do all the things in Instagram, will I get rewarded for that? So just kind of comparing. I save all my reels and my drafts. I have my captions ready to go. I have hooks already on there. And then when it's time to post, I just hit publish. And I just like, there you go. Like you just wake up every day around 9-ish. Sometimes I'm later and not always like exactly 9 on the dot. I'm like, okay, we got to post right now. So then I go post. So it just makes it so much easier. And that little bonus tip that I told you, kind of snuck it in there, but I want to just emphasize it, is that I do use that marketing calendar to save any trends that I'm seeing in advance. So if I'm seeing a trend and I'm like, ooh, I really want to do this, I will save that video and I will put it into that marketing calendar so that when I'm going to do any B-roll, I'm like, oh, we have to do this. Sometimes I'll do it right away because it's like peak of its trend and I want to get on right away. But I love doing that because then I know when I'm going to create content, I'm like, okay, we got to do this because this one's trending right now. And I kind of wanted to talk a little bit of real talk because I know for me personally, I have been super burnt out this year and probably for a couple years, but this year is when I was like, something needs to change. Like we need to shift some things. So I do know that even with systems and marketing, it can still feel really heavy and hard to keep up. And that is completely okay. That is kind of why I like following this system because then I can do it all in advance and I don't rely on my energy every single day or every week to have to like create content. I like batching it all in advance. But if we can like make some time for us to be creative, create our calendar like I do for the whole month. And then we create some time to just have fun. Like usually I'll do it on a weekend. Saturday, there's no driving, there's no hockey that day, there's no volleyball yet. Those are the times that I'll really go and create fun content for myself. And that's just the way it works for me. I mean, you're gonna have to find out what works for you. But I will say that it's okay if you don't have the energy all the time. Again, go back to that consistency. I really want you to be consistent. Do what you can. And maybe you need to go less than what you thought you could. Or maybe you have more energy and you find the system that works for you and you can do a little bit more. Figure out what's working for you. It's all trial and error, just like the whole marketing on Instagram is trial and error a whole bunch because as soon as you get something, you're like, yes, Instagram is loving me. This is great. Like the algorithm changes and you're like, ugh, why now? So I just want you to like know that find a system that works. This is one that works really well for me. I'm such a checklist person that I love using this system and I like planning in advance because then it's done and I'm like, yes, off my plate. I can move on to other things. That's also kind of why I've been behind the scenes creating something that I really want to be a place for entrepreneurs to come because there's a point where you're like, okay, do I hire someone to do this for me? I've done it before. Maybe it didn't work. I do think that for certain industries, it's a little bit harder because people need to see your face, they need to see your energy. And sometimes that doesn't always work and really, or it does, but you're still creating all the content for the social media manager to post for you. And sometimes we're just not there. Sometimes we want to have like our hands on all the things, but it's hard to do that. And so I am creating something that it's like an incredible program that I want for entrepreneurs who are going to not have to do the research and the scroll and try to figure out what's trending and what audio to use and what kind of B-roll to use and what hooks should we use. It's a program that's really designed to just take the marketing off your shoulders but still allow you to be like a toe dip in, right? Like you're still going to be the person who's creating the content because I think that is so, so important and valuable, but not doing the behind the scenes work and learning what's working and what's not working. So it's for entrepreneurs who want support with their marketing, but aren't ready to bring on a full-time social media team, right? And then inside this program, we're going to plan your content together. We're going to track the trends. Well, I'll track the trends for you and I'll help you understand how to batch create and how to post and figure out how to build your own system that works for you. Like it's going to be based on kind of the systems that I use, but I think that everybody can adjust them to work for them personally. And so I'm really, really excited about it. It's not open or launched or anything yet. So I'm being super like basic on explaining it to you, but it's just a little idea that this is coming because I just feel like this is something that's needed. It's not beginner. It's not advanced. It's just like me coming in as like your helper who's like, hey, this is what I know. I'm the expert on social media. Here's what I know. Here's how it can work for your business. Here's how you should implement it. Like, let's do this. Let's take a look. Let's check the analytics. Let's see what's performing. Let's adjust our strategy. I don't know. I'm really excited for it. And I'm hoping you're excited for it when you're hearing about it because it's coming very soon. Yay, I'm so excited. And if it sounds like something that you've been like craving or wanting or just feeling like this is something I need, I'd love for you to join my wait list so you can hear about it when it first launches. And so I'll put a link in the show notes for you to check it out and join the wait list because once it's open, it's going to be open. And yeah, I'm so excited. Like, I'm like so vague about it, but also so excited. So if today's episode really hit home, I feel like it really hits home for me when I talk about it because I like didn't do anything with social media for so long for my own account and I felt like my account was dead. Like it was dead. It was the point where people I would hear be like, "Oh, my account's dead. I just restarted." I was like, "I don't want to restart. That's a lot of work that I put into this and I'm not going to restart." So why not refresh it? Why not show up and be committed and be that authority? And I think it's been like beautiful to see it like bloom again and to see the growth from it and see the communication and the conversations. And I think that is just such a beautiful, beautiful thing. So if this is something you're interested in or you love this conversation today, there's more coming. I'm really excited for where this podcast is going, with the topics we have going, because I did take the rest of the season to look at what you guys are liking from me on Instagram, and then we're going to dive further into them because clearly these are topics that you want more on, and let's do it. Let's share some more. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Bold Entrepreneur podcast. This is an episode that I brought hopefully to inspire you, but also share some stories. And if you really loved it, I'd love if you tag me and tell me what you loved about it, what you want to hear more about it. Honestly, it helps me so much figure out what kind of content to create for you and share your biggest takeaway. And remember, the best part of creating a marketing system and a marketing calendar and all the things is that you need to work on making sure that you can actually keep up with it, that you're actually enjoying it, and that it is hitting the mark. Because yeah, we don't want to be creating all this content and then it's not going anywhere and you're like, well, she lied, that didn't work. No, it's just a matter of like looking in at what your audience is wanting. And I'm totally doing this with myself and going, okay, I thought that was a pain point, but this is what they're actually struggling with, right? And so that's allowing me, one, to shift my content, but also to really put that more into my program. Like, what can I create more on these topics that people want to have been showing me that they want to learn more on? So enjoy today. I'm so glad you guys popped in to have a chat with me. Keep it simple, stay consistent, and just have so much fun with your marketing, because that is what is honestly going to magnetize anyone over everything, is when you are enjoying your marketing and enjoying what you're doing. Have a wonderful day.